Physical security, you want to make sure that you lock your computer whenever you step away. You use a screensaver with a password. So for the Mac, you can use Shift Command Option Q, or you can use Windows L to lock it right away. So every time you step away, you want to make sure that you lock your machine. We've seen all of these types of things before. These are phishing kinds of attempts that we get. Lots of things with this. So a couple of things. We have payspal.com instead of PayPal, right? So it says payspal. And then up here, possible is actually misspelled. It's also misspelled down here. Okay, so misspellings, domain names that are similar but slightly different are very good indications. And also, your bank is not going to send you an email. That's another big type of thing. There's also whale phishing besides just phishing. Whale phishing, what that is that it actually goes ahead and they do a bit of investigation to find who they want to actually go ahead and target. So they're going to look at a company's website and they're going to try to get the big fish who might have sensitive data. And they might do something like send a subpoena and make it really as good as possible. So they send less spam phishing attempts out, but they are very targeted. Phishing and smishing are actually now what they're doing is they're using mobile messaging to do phishing attempts, and they're also using it over the phone. You know, people are just calling people up and asking them for credit card information. And unfortunately, sometimes people actually give it. Social engineering is one of the greatest ways that people actually end up losing their data. So these are three guys that are three computer hackers. A picture of them circa 2001. The guy that's in the center right there, he was actually arrested and put in jail for a while, and now he runs his own security company. But he started really young. Like when he was 12, he was actually riding the buses in LA, and one of the bus drivers told him where he could get the same kind of punch that they use, and he'd find tickets that were discarded, and so he'd punch it with that punch that he went and bought at the store, so he would ride all the buses for free. From there, it just kind of went on and on. This guy over here, he's kind of interesting. He's known for, he actually took the entire phone system down. I think it was in LA as well. Took the entire phone system down while they were giving away a Porsche. So he'd make sure that he was the 106th caller. Mysteriously, when he was wanted on that crime show where you can call in with tips, all their phone lines crashed. Tailgating or piggybacking, one of those things that you have to be cautious about. If somebody is much too close to you at the grocery store when you're putting your PIN number and your bank account, if somebody is actually offering to open a door for you when you're going into a restricted area, be very careful. This is one of the ways that they socially engineer attacks. It's not any good to have PIN codes on doors in restricted areas if people are trying to be very nice and open the door for you or hold it open and then they go in behind you. You want to make sure that you use strong passwords. Don't use dictionary words. Don't use words, patterns such as QWERTY. And use passphrases like, I hate stale bread, I don't like what this might be, whatever it might, I love Lucy. Try to make sure that you use different passwords for all of your computer accounts. My Aunt Shelley's very bad. I had this conversation with them, and she said, she's like, oh, Susie, you'd laugh at which one it was. Also, my Aunt Anna, she was having problems with her email, and so then I went and I got her Yahoo email, and my mom was like, Susie, how did you break into her account? And I said, Mom, I know Aunt Anna's dogs. They're names of her dogs. That's it. I mean, because most people, names of their kids are the names of their pets. So it was pretty easy to go ahead and get them. I'm like, her email is fine, but she's going to want to change her password. Paris Hilton. What is her dog's name? You can Google that in about, 5 seconds. It's Tinkerbell. She used that. So, of course, people went ahead, hacked her account, posted all of her information online. This is a nice website, How Secure Is My Password? You can put up your password in there, and it'll actually tell you how long it would take to crack the password. So you want to make sure that you have a password that's nice and long with a mix of numbers and letters. So this guy was actually fined $873 million. He's one of the first Facebook spammers. And so people who hadn't used Facebook as an entry before, what's really great about Facebook is that you're going to trust information that you get from your friends. So if you can get in and crack somebody's password and start sending things to everybody on their friend list, it looks like it's coming from me. And I'm recommending that you go to this place in Nigeria and get some information. So you might be more willing to actually go there. So you have to be very careful. And that's why it's also really important to make sure that all of your passwords are strong passwords, even if you don't post to Facebook very often. A couple of things. Make sure Facebook, you're not doing it at work. You raise your privacy settings. They have a tendency to go ahead and change things kind of across the board after the fact. You have your privacy set at a certain level, and then they've changed things under your feet, and you don't realize, oh my gosh, that picture that I posted is actually accessible to anybody who looks up my account. Never discuss confidential information online, and be careful if you mix your personal and business life. Some things to stay safe, that 100% of the top websites, 100 top websites, had bad code. It used to be the fact that you'd think that people that were getting infected were going to porn sites or gambling sites. That's a very high rate of infection if you visit those types of sites. Now it can be any website. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing bad types of things if they're infected. Make sure that you keep your operating system updated, and you can use it through Windows Update. And also, you can, on the Mac, go to Mac and do software updates. You should have 2 browsers. On the Windows, you should have at least 2, Firefox and Internet Explorer. On the Mac, you should have Firefox and Safari. There's an application called QualSys Browser Check. And what that does is that actually you go to that website, it runs a little program, and it tests to see if there are any vulnerabilities in your computer. You can see that I had Adobe Reader. That was actually an insecure version, and I could click on the Fix It button, and I could download the most recent version of Adobe Reader to be safe. The problem with this is that sometimes there are vulnerabilities. There might be a 0-day exploit. They don't have a fix for it yet. So even if you do everything you're supposed to do, the company hasn't actually gone ahead and put out an update or a patch for a security problem. You can see that's what happened to me here. Make sure you protect everything that connects to the internet: Wii's, Xboxes, TVs, smart TVs, Apple TVs. I'm not going to play this video. This is an awesome video. It's these 2 little girls who are doing file sharing. And what ended up happening to them, the 2 parents thought, well, you know, they're just doing some music file sharing, no problem. Using file sharing software, what you can do is you can do a simple search on a file sharing website for .tax, which is this type of extension for TurboTax. And you can get hundreds of thousands of hits of people's tax returns. This particular couple, what they did is they found their tax return on this website, and then they had a computer forensics person go ahead and look into it, and that had actually been downloaded in 4 different countries, including Poland and Nigeria. This couple had already had their refund stolen last year, and so then they recommended them to go ahead and do some identity theft kinds of credit monitoring. Make sure that you back up your data. On Windows, you can use backup and restore. And on a Mac, you can use Time Machine. What if something actually happens? Make sure that you report your stolen finances. You can talk to the FTC and also call your local law enforcement or state attorney general as appropriate. What's interesting about identity theft is that I actually had a situation with a friend of mine. They had stolen her bank information. It actually happened in California. And so she had to call the authorities where the crime had taken place in California instead of in Henrico County where she resides. So, all right, well, thank you so much for coming. Enjoy the rest of this cybersecurity fair.